Hello and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie. This is the week 25, June the 14th through the 20th wrap up. Alrighty. So this week has been very, very interesting. My little one, well, he's not even really little anymore. He's like looking at me in my eyes at this point. He is back swimming. Yes, they're doing social distancing and everything like that. So I actually had to leave my house and I actually had to go do things. I was debating, when I woke up this morning, what I was going to talk about in this lifestyle portion of my video, because I was like, did anything really happen? Did anything happen this week? No, I don't know. He started swimming. I had to, get up in the mornings and take him and stuff like that. Then at the end of the week, I ended up having to take my car in because quarantines are being lifted all over the place, and we're in phase 2 right now here in Virginia, and I should probably get my tags renewed on my car since they were due to be done in March, but we all went in quarantine, so they extended it, and I don't get in trouble for driving my car or anything like that. But then my car started to honk while I was sitting at the house, just randomly bonk bonk. Just craziness, right? Crazy. You would think car sitting, no big deal. No, take it in. And come to find out that there's this little mechanism in the horn thing. It's called the clock spring, and it had to be replaced again. And mind you, I had this clock spring replaced like 2 years ago. So, have to get my clock spring replaced, and come to find out that being in quarantine or being jobless or things like that is great for your insurance and great for the fact that you don't have any mileage on your cars, but letting your car sit for long periods of time damages the brakes. So I had to get a new brake caliper, whatever. Had to get a new brake caliper as well. Yeah, that's lovely. And I'm like, what the heck? So, yeah, so those are the realizations that I came to this week, that I'm gonna have to find a job. But speaking of, you guys have been amazing. Oh my goodness, I think I mentioned it in one of my videos from last week, and you guys are so sweet and so coming through for me. I greatly appreciate it, because I have my Ko-fi and my PayPal links down in the description box, so that if you guys feel charitable and want to give a donation, you think my video for that day that you watched was good enough to give a couple dollars to out of your pocket, you guys have been doing that, and I greatly appreciate it. Because what's funny is that a book friend of mine and I were talking, and we were talking about how much goes into creating and editing and putting these book videos together and stuff like that. And I feel sort of bad for letting you guys know, hey, my pay stuff is down there, can you contribute this and that. But at the same time, I'm like, I put a lot of work into it, and whatever you guys give, I am grateful for. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, if you don't give me like $15, then I'm not gonna continue this. No, I love doing this, so you can continue to see content if you give or not. It doesn't matter, but I greatly appreciate those that have taken the time out and contributed and just gave me a couple dollars here and there. I love you guys. Love you guys. On that note, my numbers are still rising. You guys are amazing. We've been talking about this for about a month now, and the numbers are still rising. They're not going down. The views are catching up with the subscriber count. I love that you guys are commenting. You guys are like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were out there. And yes, I'm here. I've been here, and I appreciate all of you new voices that I am seeing in my comment section. And I love our discussions and everything like that. With that, there have been a couple comments about, you know, can you recommend this or recommend that? Make sure that you're checking my playlists on my channel, because every single video that I put up, I do put into a different playlist. So if it's a recommendations video, I'll put it in the recommendations playlist. If it's a discussion video, I'll put it in the discussion video. If it's something that's kind of random or things like that, I will put it in the discussion video. But I have different playlists out there, so you guys can go check them out. If you're looking for things that I did way back when I started my channel, my 2017, 2018, and 2019 playlists are still available for you guys to look at. I unlinked my 2016 and 2015, 2016 playlist because the videos are trash. There are some videos, though, that I did back in 2015 that are in other playlists, so if you want to check those out, you can always go to my main channel to look at my most popular videos as well. That is a playlist that's out there, so just check that description box. Go to my actual channel. If you're just coming to the channel via video from the recommendation side of YouTube or something like that, and you want to see more content, I have loads. I have about 5 years worth of content here on YouTube. So please go explore, and you know, I love you guys. Love you, love you, love you. So let's get into the books that I read last week. I started the week off finishing The Arrival of You, which is Mile High #2 by B Cranford. This is an interracial contemporary. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 3.5 Steam fans. I read this as an ebook. I do believe it's available on KU. I have it written down as KU, but I don't know if it still is or not, so you might have to check that. But this is the conclusion of Bianca and Lucas's story. You met them in Mile High, where they met on an airplane. He is Australian, she is American, and she had just had a bad breakup. So now this is them in Australia trying to figure out where they're going to go from there. Their sexual chemistry is off the charts. But this book ended up being so much more than Mile High did. It ended up being a exploration of sort of an interracial couple, of how families react to, you know, different races and things like that, and a self journey. Just so much is going on in this book, and I loved every single moment of it. The next book that I finished was While She Sleeps by Dani Rene. I believe that's how we say her name, or yeah, the author's name. This is a dark romance. It is part of the Dirty Heroes collection. This is book number 3. And I gave it 4.25 stars. I gave it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an ebook. And this book follows Vera and Logan. It is a retelling, a reimagining of Sleeping Beauty. And the kink in this is very interesting. There is a warning in the beginning of the book that our hero likes to watch, and he is sexually gratified and sexually aroused. There we go. Aroused by someone that is unconscious, but at the same time unconscious to their because they want to. So it's kind of tricky to sort of explain it, but it is such a good book, and it is all explained within the beginning of the book with the author's warning, as well as during the book how the two of them have a connection. There is lots of references to the Sleeping Beauty sort of fairy tale, because the flow of the book just Sleeping Beauty all over that. The next book that I finished was The Boyfriend Project by Farrah Rochon. I am placing this in women's fiction. I give it 3.25 stars. Now, I raised that from my initial rating, but I give it 2 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC/audiobook because I had the ARC, but then it ended up releasing last week, and I didn't get a chance to read it as the ARC, so I listened to it as the audiobook because I purchased it. And this is a Black author, and this book, had I not watched a few interviews with Farrah Rochon, seeing her in some talks and everything like that, I would have, like I said, given this book lower ratings. But since I have listened to her and heard her talk about the book, that is the reason I'm falling on the rating that I am. That's also the reason why I am placing as a women's fiction book instead of a romance, because this book revolves around Samaya and Daniel, but also mainly Samaya, London, and Taylor, who all three ladies find out through a Twitter feed that they are quasi dating the same guy, and he's a douchebag. And on one of their dates, they end up finding out, oh, this guy's a douche, and they're they're tweeting about it, and then all three ladies end up at the restaurant that, at the same restaurant, and find out, oh, you've been playing us all. And they form this sort of bond and this kind of group and things like that. So it is mainly about their story. It's mainly about Samaya and how she is working to get an app off the ground, how she is dealing with her company and advancing and everything like that. Then you have Landon and Taylor, who are in their perspective career fields and how they're trying to deal with stuff. And then in walks Daniel, who is this hottie McHottie that all of a sudden Samaya is like, oh, I have sworn off men, but there's hottie McHottie Daniel that is catching my eye. So they sort of have some interactions that are romantic in nature, but it's not enough for me to call it a romance, because there was so much other stuff going on that, yeah, just put me out. Had I known that it was a women's fiction book, or had I not been hyped or pitched that it was supposed to be a romance, I probably would have had different feelings for this book. But being that it was told to me that it was supposed to be a romance, I was definitely in the mood for a catfished girl power type sort of story, where it kind of veers off to each person's sort of finding of love, and that it would revolve around that relationship. But this one didn't do that for me. So the next book that I finished was Not That Kind of Guy by Andie J. Christopher. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC/audiobook. This has been released, and I purchased the audiobook, and I listened to it. This is a biracial author, and amazing. So we have Bridget, who is a lawyer, and she is doing all that she can to make ends meet, and there is a fellowship that she wants. Well, the fellowship's family has a son to it. His name is Matt. He comes to her firm, or where she's working. I believe it's a district attorney's office, I think. Don't quote me on that. It's a law office, and Matt comes in and has to be Bridget's intern. So over the summer, thank goodness it was only a short amount of time. So for the 3 months that Matt is interning with Bridget, they sort of feel a connection, but they don't cross any lines until the end of the internship, where Bridget now has to have a date to go to her brothers and sister-in-law's bachelorette party in Vegas. And we all know the saying, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And we know in our books, our romance books, nothing ever stays in Vegas when it happens in Vegas in a romance book. And I was here for this story. Their sexual chemistry is so off the chain, and they have to deal with some social issues that are plopped out in conversation, and I was just really here for this story, and I loved it oh so much. The next book that I finished was Hearts on Hold by Charish Reid. I give this book 5 stars. Oh my goodness. 5. 5 of them bad boys. I give it 3.5 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC/audiobook. This book has been released. I've had it for a while. It has been on my TBRs for different readathons, and I pushed myself to read this one because I was doing a different project with this and a couple of other books that I've already mentioned. And I am so mad at myself that it took me so long to read this book because it was absolutely amazing. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. I found the first book that I read by Charish was an interracial couple, and I loved it, and it was just like swoony and stuff like that. And this one is exactly the same. It has some social issues in it, and she really walks the line with our main character Victoria of being this black professor at this private university that is not well diverse at all. But you know, Victoria is standing on her ground, and she's like, we need to diversify, we need to get these, you know, I've worked really hard to get where I am, and we need to get these diverse voices into this university and help, and you know, things like that. So they have to do a 4-week initiative where they set up plans and make plans to help the university make money because their last president ran them into the ground. So with Victoria's initiative, she wants to branch out to the local library system, and in walks John. John happens to be the children's director of the library, and they have to work together to come up with this 4-week plan, and their sexual chemistry right off the bat is absolutely amazing. Whew. Whew, yes. So Victoria, in all of her plan self, is like, okay, I'm going to make you my booty call, and we're going to be adventurous, but we're going to do it on a plan. Along with this other plan that we have going on. I feel our sexual chemistry, but we're going to do a plan. And the two of them end up interacting and doing their friends with benefits type situation. John has a black niece that comes to live with him while his sister is in Sweden, and I just loved all of it. I loved it all. I mean, you could see how freaking Victoria felt for John, and how John felt for Victoria, and how they kind of interweaved each other, and how they balanced each other, and it was just like, so good, so good. And the narrator felt like I was just sitting down with a girlfriend and just hearing their story. So good, so good. The next book that I finished was Bound in Sacrifice by Murphy Wallace. This is a dark romance novella. I give this book 4.25 stars. I give it 4.5 Steam fans. Woo. This is book number 4 in the Dirty Heroes collection, which I'm working my way through. And this book follows Rosabelle and the Beast, aka Adam. You really don't hear that his name is Adam. He's always called the Beast. And Adam, or the Beast, runs a BDSM like compound, like straight up compound. And it is so retelling of Beauty and the Beast. Yes. So Rosabelle has to take care of her father. He's drunk, and he gets himself into some debt with the Beast. And in turn for not killing her father, she decides to become the Beast's property. And oh my gosh, it was just so good. I felt the whole retelling, reimagining, and I was just here for it. The next book that I finished was It Takes Two by Nikki Sloane. This is an erotic novella prequel to Nikki's series. I give it 4.25 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. Whew. And I listened to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance. Read Me Romance. And this book follows Nina and Scott and Ben. Nina needs some cash, so she decides to sign up to do some amateur porn, and come to find out, Scott and Ben they're going to be in the scene with her. Yeah. And it's just their making of the movie. That's it. That's it. Yes. Hey. Woo. Yes, indeed. I will say that the break from episode 1 to episode 2, this is the reason why I listen to my Read Me Romance freaking episodes on Friday or Saturday morning, because that break, I was like, what? I need the rest of the story. It was fire. Straight fire. The next book that I finished was Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and this is the Brown Sisters #2 by Talia Hibbert. This releases June the 23rd. So you guys, it's almost here. It is almost here. This is a contemporary. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC. Obviously, it hasn't released yet. Unless you're watching this after the 23rd. This is a Black author, and Talia Hibbert, I love you so. I just love you so. So, Danica. What do I want to say? Dani is a PhD student, and she has been going in, and she has been sort of quasi-flirting with the security guard, who is a ex-rugby player, and both of them have their issues. They have their things. So Dani is bisexual. Zaf is dealing with some anxiety, and both of them are dealing with sort of grief, and they both have really like super fun quirks and things like that. I just love this book oh so much. There are trigger warnings or content warnings, not trigger, content warnings for anxiety, grief, and self-doubt. So beware that those things are talked about within this story. I think that they are amazing. I have watched Talia talk about this book and her other works and things like that, and it just feels like I'm getting such a little piece of her that I don't want to ruin anything else besides saying that it's amazing. It's amazing. It was just straight perfection, and it's a complete flow of the story. Oh, and if you're looking for grovel, this is a grovel book that is gonna like just touch your heart. It touched my heart. It just had me all swoony and stuff. Like I was like yes, oh yeah, yes. So good, so very good. And the last book that I read last week was Starlet by Cora Kenborn. This is a dark suspense romance. It's part of the Sinister Fairy Tale collection. I believe it's the last book in the collection. And I give it 4.5 stars. How many Steam fans do I give it? Because I didn't write it down. I think I'm going to go with 4 Steam fans. Because I think there was more mystery than anything. Than the Sexy Times. But the Sexy Times are pretty hot. I will say that. So we'll go with 3.5. 3.5, so it'll be a 4 in the box down that box right there. I read this as an ARC. This releases this week, so go check this out after I finish telling you what it's about. Angel and Dominic. This is a retelling, reimagining of Anastasia. Next to The Little Mermaid, Anastasia was a favorite fairy tale of mine. I loved that cartoon, all of that, right? So this book starts off with a bang. You like automatically know that it is about Anastasia, or the fairy tale sort of feeling of Anastasia. Lost princess, dies but isn't dead, is found by this sort of con artist, and then is taken to the limelight, and that is exactly what we have in this story. Angel is working at this bar. She sees this guy that, you know, is trying to find that next, trying to find that heir, because they have just put out a $1 million sort of reward. There we go. Reward for anyone that comes forth that is the actual missing person. And so they start to work together. And things happen. It starts off with a huge bang. I was like right there for it. Then it gets a little slow in the middle when they're doing their sort of talk and prep and stuff like that. Kind of like with me and the cartoon version of it. All that like prep and stuff like that is fun, but it's like, Then things start to fall apart and get kinds of crazy and all sorts of things. So the author has actually put out a warning in the beginning of this book that there are content warnings for psychological manipulation, child loss, and sexual assault. So be very warned of that, because those things are very descriptive within the story. But the things that like really grabbed me and started like blowing my mind, I almost threw my Kindle. Almost threw my Kindle, because I was like, what is going on here? Why? Oh, did that just happen? Yes. So, I lost that half a star because of that slow middle part that I was telling you about, that little slow part. But the intensity level overall and the story reimagining overall was chef's kiss. So tasty. So very tasty. Alright, so it is giveaway time. I am giving away a signed copy of Great and Precious Things, as well as The Last Letter. So it's actually The Last Letter, then Great and Precious Things by Rebecca Yarros. And I am also going to include a $10 Amazon gift card. And it's all because Rebecca was amazing, and sent me these 2 copies. They are signed with her signature and everything like that. So if you are one of those people that love signed copies and would like your own, here is your chance. All you have to do is go into the description box, use the form that I have down there, fill it all out, and this giveaway will last from today, June the... what is today? June the 21st, Father's Day, until June the 27th, which is a Saturday. So go fill those forms out. You can only fill it out once, 1 form per email address. And I'm sorry, but it has to be the United States. So I won't be doing this internationally. I'm sorry, you guys. It's just a little too expensive. And then with everything that's going on with COVID and everything like that, I don't want to get your books hung up or anything like that. So if you are interested in hearing or reading and experiencing these amazing books, please enter to win them for yourself. If you want to hear more about them, I will link both of my reviews down in the description box as well, so that you can go check out what I had to say about both these amazing books. As a matter of fact, one of these books was on my favorites list for one of the years, and I believe it actually won my Bookish Academy Awards at some point. I believe. So go check that out, and I wish you guys all good luck on this fabulous giveaway. On to what I am currently reading. I am currently reading Loudmouth by Avery Flynn, which is a hockey romance. It's her 3rd book in her Ice Kings romance, and it comes out the 22nd or the 23rd. It comes out this week, so go check this out. I am still making my way through it, my art copy, but what I have read so far is so much fun. So much fun. Oh my goodness. And I am still reading Reborn yesterday, listening to this on audiobook so that I can read This Time Tomorrow by Tessa Bailey. Both of those are by Tessa Bailey, by the way. And that one comes out on the 23rd or the 22nd. 22nd, 23rd, one of those days it comes out, and I can't wait. As soon as I get this video edited and everything like that, I'm going to read books. Read books, read books, read books. So, I think that is it. Let me know down in the comment section if you have read any of these books, if any of these books sound interesting to you, if you just want to leave me emojis, sending love. Yes. Make sure you're checking the description box because I timestamp all of these reviews so that if there's some chance that you forget to comment or you don't write down a book name or something like that, or you miss the cover, you can always pause it and then check the time that you paused it, and then you can go look at the timestamps so that you can figure out which book and which author or book that I was talking about, and be able to get that. I have affiliate links down there. I have a recommendation page down there as well. I am going to be doing a video on those recommendations here shortly. Whew, out of breath for some reason. I also have a feedback form down there. There is a little something coming up based on your feedback that I have gotten in the month of August, so be ready for that. I think that is all. My Ko-fi information is down there. My PayPal information is down there. All donations are appreciated because, you know, it takes a lot more than just standing in front of this camera to put these out to you. But, you know, what have you. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. And we will see you guys in the next video.